So we're getting our acceleration here. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing a 2022 Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro with quite a few modifications. First and foremost though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Southtown Tim Daly Nissan for giving me some time with this 4Runner. It is available for sale for the time being, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their inventory in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into the video. Now we're under the hood, and it's not to talk about the tried and true 4-liter V6 that goes through a 5-speed automatic transmission, produces 270 horsepower and 278 pound-feet of torque. No, it is to talk about the fact that this has an air compressor under the hood. You guys can see everything else because this has a bunch of lights added to it. But yes, it's pretty cool to see like the old school engine next to some new school off-road tech, and well, there's under the hood. Okay, so yeah, that sounds about right. Now this is where the fun begins with this 4Runner. So of course it's finished in electric lime green. I think that I got the color name right. Anyways, you guys can see we've got a bunch of lights here at the top on this rack. Absolutely blindingly bright. We have this gigantic snorkel. Now a misconception about snorkels is a lot of people think that snorkels are so that vehicles can go through a bunch of water, and that can be the case with some snorkels, but most snorkels are on vehicles so that they have an air intake that's higher up, so that if they're going through like really dusty terrain, that they can have like nice clean air instead of dusty air. And then of course we've got more lights. Like this is a full-on like crazy off-roader setup, and well, we've got this pretty aggressive bar, and it works really well with the headlight design of the 4Runner. Like, it just looks so cool. This reminds me of like a lot of off-road builds that you see for like the Australian Outback, frankly, with this front bumper. Notice it doesn't block the front camera. Some front bumpers with these like aggressive crash bars will block cameras, but not this one. And then you guys can see here with the whole LED light bar setup here. And then of course we got the recovery hooks on the front end, and we still have our TRD skid plate there at the bottom. And something's really cool, and the reason why I turned the tires, well, I turned it the wrong way, so we got to go over to the other side. I was gonna say the reason I turned the tires this way is to show you guys the Fox shocks. There you go. You guys can see we've got the Fox shocks. Of course they have the TRD tuning with them, and then you guys can see red for the springs. Now if you guys are wondering, here on the entire wheel setup we got 17-inch wheels, 265 millimeter tires, so it's 265, 70, 17 in terms of like the overall setup. And it still has like the regular TRD Pro wheels if you guys are wondering. Yeah, it's so cool to see those shocks and everything. Notice we have the rock rail side step setup as well, which looks really aggressive here. And of course we got our TRD Pro badge there on the side, and then you got the rack there. Actually gonna pop over here to the other side so that you guys can see the full side view. Obviously this doesn't have a bunch of fancy transitions like my normal videos, but again, it's a modified vehicle, so slightly different video setup. Got the TRD Pro exhaust, and then you guys can see the lights here on the back. Well, light, I should say, not lights. And then look at this, we even have a ladder built onto the 4Runner. And guess what? You can just open this up like normal with the ladder. So it doesn't change anything. And then this has the cool tray thing added in. This is a Toyota accessory that comes stock with the Trail Edition 4Runner. Got an outlet here in the back. And then this is for short people, I suppose, but us regular folks, just grab that and then you can throw it down. The ladder actually makes the closing function a lot better because it adds a little bit of weight to close it up. But yeah, pretty cool. And then if we pop inside, it's pretty much just a stock TRD Pro from an interior perspective. As you guys can see with the red stitching and everything. So none of that's changed. And then I kind of showed this a little bit earlier, but here's like the control center. So this actually turns on the air compressor if you want to turn on that. Auxiliary power. And then this is for the lights. So if they're illuminated, that means that they are on. So you can just press that and turn it off. This is really nice, frankly. Like everything's very nicely labeled. And so like, yeah, just a cool setup. That's for the outlet to turn that whole monstrosity on. And then you guys can see here for the rest of the interior. Got the regular stuff. I actually want to see the camera viewpoints. So there's your reverse. So the ladder is kind of in the way for reverse a little bit. And then if we press the camera viewpoint here, the front camera, frankly, you can see the bar a little bit, but it's mostly unaffected. 360 camera function's still great. And then looks like we've got some rapid chargers added to it. And I'm not sure where the heated seats on that side. That's kind of interesting. What if the rear window? Yeah, the rear window still functions fine. Like, all these modifications, none of them get in the way. And then just like other TRD Pros, well, here's some extra lights you guys can see here at the top. You've got the locker for the rear, the 8-track system, regular stability control, and then you've got your like off-road modes and your crawl control, basically. Your multi-terrain select, which I did use for a 4Runner TRD Pro, and it works quite well. And if you guys are wondering, this has 14,000 miles on it. And if you want the most up-to-date price, check out Southtown Tim Daly Nissan's website in the description down below. I'm really interested to see how this drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, both of the mirrors, and then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Okay, so we are setting off here in this 4Runner TRD Pro, and I don't expect this to drive too much different than a regular 4Runner TRD Pro. The reason I wanted to drive this is to see if the added weight and just all the accessories, you know, just the weight and I guess the aerodynamics of the accessories, if that makes sense, like to see if it really messes with things quite a bit. So yeah, we're basically just gonna see that with the video. So first off, and if you guys don't know, I actually own a 4Runner TRD Pro now. And so I can tell you guys quite a bit how this drives different compared to stock. You can feel the weight, like the rack up top and the front bumper and everything. The front end does feel noticeably heavier. I hate this light so much, by the way. So this light, you guys can probably see on camera, it's very hard to see like the light itself. It's yeah, super low light, just the angle and everything, it's not great. So I've seen so many people run that light, and like I'm like, are they running it because they're, you know, trying to do some illegal stuff, or are they running it because like seriously it's hard to see? Now aside from that, I just realized the freaking brights were on. We're gonna put the lights back in auto. I was just yeah, brights to people for a second there. Bright quality is really good, like a normal 4Runner TRD Pro. So it doesn't look like that's really any different. It still has that like TRD Pro tank-like feel, where it's just this big substantial vehicle. It's kind of like just in your face. One thing I do like about the 4Runner is it does cool down quite quickly. You've got these big vents. I mean, this was sitting out in the sun all day, and it has just pretty much like instantly cooled down. It's cool to see the little lights there. It's pretty, like, just on the outside. I don't know, it just adds to it. And then also like the little bar, you can kind of see that a little bit too. It's just fun. Okay, so we're taking a turn here and we'll be getting on the interstate shortly. So just getting on the throttle a little bit. Sounds so good. I love that TRD exhaust. This honestly, in my opinion, like outside of sports cars, is like the best sounding V6, because it's just so like muscular with the sound, because it's just this low sound. Because a lot of V6s, they'll go for like a high-pitched screechy sound, whereas this is just like it's almost like a V8. It's not a V8, but it has that same, you know, low-pitched kind of aggressive sound that you would get in a lot of V8s. We're getting our acceleration here. Gonna have to, oh, never mind. Thought I ran out of lane. I was like, we're gonna have to let off, but no, that lane keeps going on. It might be a little bit slower than stock with all this stuff on it. It's not a huge difference though. The 4Runner is like just not a fast vehicle as it stands. But yeah, this does make, it looks like it makes a slight difference, but it's not huge. Not going super fast. It's kind of hard to tell with the wind noise if it's any, doesn't seem like this is any louder from a wind noise perspective. Like the thing I'd be worried about most is the top rack. Obviously it didn't go super fast, but I mean, if wind noise was gonna happen, it would at least start to happen around 50 miles an hour, and it didn't really pick up at all. So let's sum things up with this. First off, love the color. Always a sucker for green. Yeah, I think this thing looks so cool on the outside. Like, it just has this rugged off-roader appearance, and it's all practical. That's the thing that I really love about this build, is it's not just for looks. I see a lot of 4Runner builds, frankly, that are just for looks, and I get so, I don't know, people can do whatever they want with their vehicles, but like, I get annoyed when people do just like aesthetic off-road builds. It's like, off-roading is all about practicality, and this has it. And this is definitely, like, I don't know exactly how much this build cost, but this has to be pretty dang expensive to add an air compressor under the hood, all of these lights, the bumper. I mean, I might be off on my pricing guess, but I wouldn't be shocked if this was like, after, you know, labor to install this, if this was like $10,000 like put into this. Because again, like, everything's expensive now. Inflation, people. Inflation. It's like $10,000 used to buy you a vehicle. Now $10,000 buys you accessories on a vehicle. But overall, really cool build. And so if you want, you know, the coolest color on the TRD Pro, and you want something that's already all set up, this is set up. Man, this makes me kind of want to do this to my 4Runner now. I don't know if I would do the I don't know if I do all this stuff on this, because again, the weight, but some of this stuff though, it's very tempting. Now we got to do our off-roading to get this back into where it's supposed to be. So we're gonna pop our front camera on. Might have to put it into 4-wheel low. Not sure. This is true mall crawling, guys. We got to 2-foot it up this curb. The thing I love about the 4Runner, honestly, is it has so much grip. These tires are actually really good. I took one of these off-road, a TRD Pro, same color. And these tires get so much grip. Like, it is just crazy. And even in 2-wheel drive, like, obviously it's going over curb, but off-road, even in 2-wheel drive, this thing can go up like stuff that 90% of vehicles can't go up in, like, all-wheel drive. I'm serious. It's crazy what the 4Runner can do. But let me know what you guys think about this build. I think this thing is pretty cool. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this 4Runner TRD Pro. Again, check out Tim Daly, Southtown's website in the description down below. Hopefully I said that in the right order. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.